this is Wazwo X Wazwo, Evil O, and today I am in Baroda, and I'm sitting with none other than the fabulous Shibu Natesan, and we're here to ask him some questions about his art. He's been very generous to let me come here and talk to him today. So I'm going to start with asking you a very broad question. Mm-hmm. I really love the way you paint. And when I read articles about you, many times your painting is described as photorealist. I kind of don't like that term. Other people refer to your painting style as neoclassical. Sometimes I feel you've gone into more the surreal mode. And it's kind of hard to peg your painting that way. How would you yourself describe what you do?
I think it's a sort of, I would call it realism, simple that, word, like Gustav Courbet or somebody, or whatever, you see, that's what I've tried to paint. So, I would like to call it for realistic paintings.
You call them realist paintings?
Yeah.
Okay. You were born in Kerala. You were born in Trivandrum, the way I've read.
Yes.
Then you studied printmaking here in Baroda.
No, in Trivandrum I studied painting. My BA degree was painting. Then in Baroda I did printmaking, my master degree. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't really pursue printmaking too far down the road. You turned to painting as your true love.
Yes.
You seem to me like a painter's painter. Somebody who just loves working with paint. Yeah?
Yes.
And then you ended up studying at the Rijksmuseum.
Rijksacademy.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey in education and how you got from being the boy in Kerala to where you are today?
Yes. So I was born in a family of artists. My father was a painter. So he didn't encourage me so much because he wasn't a successful painter. So he didn't have any hope in, find a living from painting. So he did just a lot of own jobs. He was also a teacher for a while. Then they want me to study literature. I was quite influenced by my sister, elder sister, who was studying literature. So I was also taking her footsteps to study literature. Then I used to draw from a very early on in my life. So I had a lot of skill also in my childhood. So then my family suggested me to study art, applied art actually, to have an advertisement fame or something, so that they can make sure that I find a living from it.
Right.
So yeah, but I secretly joined the painting department in Trivandrum College of Fine Arts in 1982.
Secretly?
Yeah, because my parents didn't know that. I was telling them that I was studying applied art, but I was in the painting department.
Okay.
So, Trivandrum College is one of the best college for life studies. That's what is mostly happened in Trivandrum College. Every day draw people, people's face. Then face, if you can properly paint a face, then you can do anything in painting. Your face does got all the complexity an artist have to achieve.
I always give Trivandrum a lot of credit for that because it seems to me they still really emphasize the skill level, the basic skills, and a lot of colleges have gotten away from that.
Yeah. So then after that, my BA came to Baroda to study print. I took printmaking because printmaking, I got actually admission in both the department, painting and printmaking department. But I chose printmaking because the reason is I was already painting anyway. So I thought in art school I don't have to study painting, but printmaking, the machinery is involved, which is difficult to find. I know, otherwise you can't practice printmaking, without machinery. So I thought that is helpful for me. Also, it's cheaper to do it. The ink was free. We have to only buy paper.
I have one of your old lino cuts.
So I have one of the paper and like those things. So then also the drawing, the good thing, I was so much interested in German expressionist artists when I was studying in Trivandrum, like Daybrook and Blue Rider, all these groups. So they did a lot of prints, woodcuts and etchings and all that, Kathy Kollwitz, all these artists. So I thought this drawing quality of mine, I could express in filmmaking. That was one of the reasons why I took filmmaking. Somehow after my studies here, I couldn't practice filmmaking because I didn't have ambitions with me and I was into painting. So while I was studying filmmaking also, all I was reading and studying was painting only, you know. So and filmmaking and painting is not so different, you know, it's the same thing basically. So that I enjoyed. And in 1996, I got this scholarship to study in Netherlands, Amsterdam, Rijksacademie van Beeldend en Kunsten. Which is one of the prestigious colleges.
Yeah, that was a great step
Yeah,
for you.
that
That was
yes.
wonderful.
There I met, a lot of well-known artists. They come as advisors because it is not a normal college. They give you degree or anything. It's a practicing place for practicing artists. You know. So I met artists like Richard Deacon, Luke Simons, Avis Newman, Matt Mullican. You know,
Okay.
some of the artists,
Yeah,
Matt
yeah.
Mullican. So many of them, you know, so that was a great experience. So then all the going around the museums and finding new artists. And also one of the interesting thing of studying abroad was actually the artists I studied on books. I was able to see them in reality.
Right,
You know,
the
that
great
was the
museums.
greatest experience of studying abroad.
I read that you did a series of portraits that were heavily influenced by Gerhard Richter in the
Yeah.
style of the portraits. Is that true? Or no?
Clearly, when I was in Amsterdam, the director was in fashion at that time, and also Luke Simons, they were all doing portraits. So again, portraits I always did. So that was interesting too. I thought like I could express so much about my emotions in those portraits. So when I returned to India in 1998, I did a show with Sakshi Gallery Mumbai called Missing. So Missing was actually basically 6 portraits of people. So I took from newspaper sources, sometime birthday section, those children and all that. And I call them Missing because sometimes the title help you to enter into paintings.
Right.
So otherwise it's just a portrait. When I say it's missing, so then that creates a mystery for people to more involved with the paintings.
Right.
So
You
interesting
start
thing
to
was-
wonder about it. You start to
Yes.
empathize. Titles mean so much.
Yeah. When I was doing a preview show in Faculty of Fine Arts Baroda, that show. So the missing, a lot of people Shibu Natesan is missing.
I just want to say, I find that that's like something that I think that, like my background is really in creative writing and journalism. When I was in college, that was more that what I was into rather than art. And it's like, I think that helps me a lot though. It helps you when you're titling, helps you write about your art. I think a lot of kids miss out on that because they don't know how to express themselves about their art and they don't know how to even give a good title to a
Yes,
piece. There's something about giving a piece a poetic or an evocative title that does a lot.
Yes. But at the same time, the titles are like, sometimes titles have nothing to do with the painting.
Right.
But the title helps people to, get into the painting. I think that way title is important. So sometimes, in my painting, title happens before the painting. Sometimes title remains in my mind. I don't know what to do with that title. So I have to find appropriate image for it. So yeah, doing titles are like that for me.
Mm. So anyway, going to your style, one thing I find is, you've somewhat answered this already, I guess, but you sort of switch and you've gone in very surrealist bent sometimes too in some of your paintings, like the one with the boxer, I forget what it's called, right? The boxer. and I
Yeah,
think
each
there's-
one.
Each one teach one,
Yeah.
and I think there's zebras in the
Yes,
background,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Did you pursue that surrealist style for very long, or was that sort of a short thing that you played with? Or?
That is not sort of based on Andre Breton's surrealist theory. It's sort of I was actually put 2 contradictory images and trying to make a third meaning. So that sometimes it's like especially the painting based on subject matter. Surrealism helps a lot. If you don't have any subject matter, surrealism is doesn't work there. Surrealism is subject matter is very important. So, especially this particular painting, each one teach one. I was living in England at that time. I did that painting in England. So, it was just like a lot of things, like a human madness of human being. So that man don't have to fight with those zebras.
Right.
It's like the dominant, the man's desire of that superior being, play a major role. Actually, that also has this kind of political connections, the things going on that time.
Right. But then I see some of your other paintings, and they're almost like, because you were also influenced, I believe, by Hackney, according to what I
No,
read.
actually, how can I never interested me.
No,
Yeah.
Bhupan? You knew
Bhupan was my friend, but yeah, Bhupan also, they were figurative painters. Rather than that, I don't think the subject matters interest me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But some of your
I'm not
paintings,
that
the
interested.
point is, I mean, some of your paintings almost seem like an English pastoral, or they're very idyllic. I'm thinking of the paintings with the people in the swing. I think there's one with two girls on a swing or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think you've been affected by the British School of Art in a lot of ways. Am I right or wrong?
Actually, my source of my interest, I can tell you. I'm kind of coming from I think Franz Haas school.
Okay.
Franz Haas, Anthony Van Dyck, then Edward Manet, John Singer Sargent.
Yes, you like John Singer Sargent. I know.
John Singer Sargent, William Nicholson. The contemporary painters. Look, time also initially I was interested in his painting. Now I don't think so much about his painting, but that is this kind of thing. Painting, that is what I'm interested in, art of painting. But today's in my art practice, the subject matter, I don't have a subject matter. I'm not interested in subject matter because I don't want to convey any social messages through my painting. So I'm more interested in the balance of nature, balance of visual balance. The beauty of world, like Roger Stoughton, that's what I'm talking about.
That's a really radical statement in
Yes.
today's art world, to say you
That's
don't want
what
to
I
convey
feel.
any social
Yeah,
messages
yeah.
in your painting, because everybody has a social message to convey these
Too much
days.
loaded with the social messages in this
Yes.
world. Then the world is getting worse today. Never getting better.
I feel I for myself, and I'm not saying there aren't any social messages in my own artwork,
Yeah.
because there is,
Yeah.
but focusing so much on particular social messages somehow decreases the element of humanism. It becomes more of a what's the word I'm looking for? More of a propagandistic kind of thing. And to me, art is always should be striving to humanize us.
Yes.
And I think propaganda does the opposite. Now, I say that with some trepidation because, I really love the work of Chitra Prasad Bhattacharya. There are people who did propaganda work that was really, really good.
Yes.
But I think, the bulk of the humanities has to be more concentrated with just the human experience and the natural experience.
Yeah. I feel like, as a musician Bob Marley says, someone playing the wrong domino, they want us to follow.
Yes.
They want us to follow the wrong domino they are playing. But this is all the human, we are facing these political issues are created by us. Actually, in the nature, there is no issue. Nature is, sun is rising, sun is setting. There is no issue. So, this, again, this idea of God, people, we still trying to define what is God is. It's the most confusing thing given to us, God. So then one of these, one of the gurus like Swami Tabovana, he said, if you can see a balance in nature, beauty in nature, that's what God is. So I thought that is great. For me, then I thought all this, the suffering we are making, and there is no need to suffer. There is no suffering. Because suffering is all our ignorance.
Right. I mean, I catch myself with that because I will be churning in my head with anger about social issues, things that aren't right in the world that I want to change. And then it's like, you should have pulled back. That's why I like Ganpat so much. He brings me back. It's like, it's a beautiful sunny day out. Get out of your head and just enjoy the present experience many times. And you just passed through Udaipur. You were up in Rajasthan. I wasn't there, but you were in Pushkar and Udaipur, and I bought that really nice watercolor from you, which is beautiful.
That was in yeah.
But I love the fact that
Yeah.
when you travel, you do watercolor sketches.
Also, I do oil paintings also
Yes.
while traveling. Yeah, because that's I'm right now I'm doing sort of documenting the world I am experiencing. I like traveling. So I like to paint because painting, the painting nature is very challenging thing. So basically, I want to challenge my ability to paint. That's very important to me. That's fascinating. That's what spiritualism to me. So and also it's like I'm not searching for anything. I stopped searching. I don't need to search anything anymore. I think things comes to me. The painting a landscape for me is like that space inviting me to paint. That's what I feel.
Right.
So it is not like, and also I don't have to think about what I'm going to paint today. I go out and the painting happens. Yeah. So before the subject matter days, after one painting is what is my next painting going to be? You have the period you are thinking about, a lot of confusion. Now they all vanished from me. I just have to paint it like a singer just singing, for his own, happiness. So that is what paintings to me, and I feel wonderful actually about that.
It's really nice to be in the moment
yeah.
like that, and I think that there's something meditative about just painting in the moment and painting what you see. So my mother used to do that. And it was beautiful to watch her just paint what she saw, and I think you do it so well. And to me, it's part of that old tradition, the itinerant artist, traveling and painting as he goes.
And also this idea of new. New is an idea actually come from capitalism. There is nothing new in the world. So why we are going searching for the new something is not there.
Right.
There is nothing new here in the nature.
Right. You've always got to have the new.
This was here yesterday also. So we are actually sort of brainwashed by media, politics, and all those things. And what we lack is actually when we get involved with those things, the other side, the beautiful side, we never experience. So that's what I realized from.
Let's talk. We touched on museums a while back for some reason. Let's just talk about that because you've been in Europe and Amsterdam and London for so long now. You know the museum culture there is so strong. And you can go to the National Portrait Gallery and there's a line in front of it to get in. You go to the Rijksmuseum, there's a line in front of it to go and get in. Art Institute of Chicago in America, there's a line in front of it to get in. You go to the NGMA in Delhi and you're sometimes surprised there's somebody else at the counter buying a ticket with you because you don't expect to see anybody in the line, in the queue. Why is that? Why is it that, what's your feeling on why the Indian middle class doesn't seem to have developed an appreciation for museum culture? Or am I wrong in my assessment of that?
I think it's, our art is, Indian art is based on this religious performance. Basically, in Rajasthan, that they paint and put in the water, isn't it? Therefore, the artists were expressing based on our Indian epics, like Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all that. So this happened in West also. The 14th century, you are not allowed to paint anything apart from Bible.
Right.
That was there also. So the thing is, I don't know why can't people appreciate art. And also, when I paint in the street, a lot of people will gather to look at the painting. They perfectly understand and appreciate painting. The common man, the guy from the street, he likes to, and he shows so much love and respect. Recently in the Rajasthan, when I was very interesting experience I had in Kumbhalgarh. I was drawing in a cafe having a tea. I was drawing the man sitting there. Then one guy came and he was watching me. He said he is the headmaster of a school. He said, why don't you come to school, meet our children, So they took us to school. Then quite a lot of local people, they asked us to stay there. If we want, we can stay there a few days and paint. They're offering us a lot of things. It's a good thing, the people are like, when they look at a stranger, they are always suspicious. When they know who you are, when I start drawing there, they know that I am a painter. Then all the doubt and the hatred and everything vanishes. They only love you. The real nature come out. That is the power of art.
I think that sometimes that's one reason why people here don't go to museums, because there's so much art on the street.
But things are changing.
And I think it's sort of a class thing. There's I feel like, well, the art institution is not for us.
Yeah.
But it is. But they don't.
What has happened in Indian art, for example, the art movement in South India, for example, like Madras school, like 60s and 70s, the Kerala was developing into the new political awareness, everything. The literature was coming up, art was also coming up. But the problem with the art didn't rooted to people at that time was art was much more intellectual. They were doing with all this tantric art, all this color symbolized this and that, so this form symbolizing that. People probably it's difficult for them to have an art with a lot of information.
Right.
That is not art. Art is not that information. Art is about the things you can recognize from your own life.
It speaks to you directly.
Yeah. So that didn't happen probably in modern art in general in India. So because modern art is mostly based on certain theories they were thinking about.
Yeah, I think Indians want to relate to art without the wall text.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So even illustrating the great stories from Jataka or Ramayana or Mahabharata, so if you don't know those stories, then it doesn't make sense. So therefore you have to be free from stories also. Then I think there is no problem for people to appreciate art. Because art is there, it's the natural thing. Those who can see the nature, they can also appreciate it's the reflection. It's mirror, you are seeing yourself. There is no issue with that, I think. Then it's, in India, I think things are changing. People now start going to school, museums. They are reading so much about art. But then art is never mainstream like
the younger generation. I was really surprised when Subodh Gupta had his retrospective at the MGMA in Delhi. The place was packed with young people. A lot of young people came out for that show. Not the opening, but like every day there were lots of people there watching it. See it. So I think it is changing. With the younger generation.
Yeah, people are also very curious about what is going on. Now the thing is interesting thing about this internet and all that is like now the knowledge. Before we say somebody like a man saying, oh, he's very knowledgeable man. Now doesn't mean anything that knowledge. Now if you have the basic intelligence to operate your phone, what do you want to know? That's enough. So the knowledge is vanishing. The knowledge have no use now. Now it's feeling, the time of feeling. The feeling has to come back.
We're probably going over our 20 minutes, maybe going on 30. Any last words? Last words.
Peace and love,
Peace and love.
Yeah. To everyone,
Yeah, I get the feeling you're an old hippie like I am. Yeah, peace and love.
Yeah,
Let's do
love.
peace when we say goodbye. This is Swazo X Swazo, Evil O from Baroda with Shibu Natesan. Peace.
Peace and love. Yeah.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Bye.
To everyone.
Bye.